Is this thing on? I told y'all, man. I told you. The herd, they don't want it. It's not a rivalry to us. You know, it's not a rivalry. Nah, all seriousness, they had a good team. John Elmore is a good player. I love Elmore. They're like brothers to us, you know what I mean? Only said all that stuff because someone in the media, I won't say any names, she made me get a sound bite, you know. If anybody knows me, they know I don't talk trash, but yeah, it was a good game, man. It was great for West Virginia. And it's great that one team is representing West Virginia that made it out. So as usual, it's always WVU. That's all I want to say, so I'm out of here. KJ.
Thanks, John.
James, when you go to you have a couple of sets that you want to run. That's
my guy right there.
Hey, we want to get these things.
That's why you're right here.
Dog right there.
Oh. Yeah, we have some. We don't have too many. We have probably 3 or 4 for each situation, like a 2 or a 3. Because you can't throw too much at them in 1 week. But I mean, just to be completely honest, we didn't want to like show too much of some of the stuff we were running because we did have a comfortable lead there, and we'd rather just let them play and try and get on the glass. So we kept coming back to one thing for man and one thing for zone. And at the end of the day, we didn't really care if we scored off the action. It was getting KJ a deep post touch, which is a reboundable shot and a good shot for KJ to get. But yeah, we have a couple things we go to, and we got a couple things we haven't done yet that we're trying to hold on to.
Jermaine, how have you come in and fit in kind of so well with this team, your first 2 games, and obviously pretty strong performance tonight? What was working for you?
Just staying active, using defense to turn into offense. These guys put a lot of trust in me, and they, let me kind of do what they know I can do. So just continuing to play hard, and when you play hard, the game gets back to you. So it's all on these guys, honestly, for just pushing me and letting me be me.
I mean, the last time you were with some of these players and at West Virginia, you were robbed of the chance to play that last game. So is it feel a little bit better, feel a little bit more special to be able to play some in these colors in this state again?
Yeah, 100%. It's been almost 3 years since I've been able to play in front of Mountaineer Nation, and that's something that I'll remember for a lifetime. It doesn't need to be in the Coliseum; it can be anywhere in West Virginia. So I'm just happy for the opportunity. I'm again happy these guys asked me to come play, and I got to continue to play hard and win 4 more games.
In the second quarter, they switched to a 2-3 zone. It seemed like it gave you guys some trouble. How did you get out of that?
I mean, we talked about it, but you have a week. I mean, zones are tricky, and I think it's best to not even acknowledge it. To be honest, I think there's a lot more similarities with zone and man than people realize. And I think at the first half we kind of did. There was just a miscommunication at timeout. Someone thought I said something, and it was just an honest miscommunication, and we were kind of staying away from ball screens, which is the opposite of what we wanted to do. But I think there's a lot more similarities to zone and man than people think, and I think it's best to just not even acknowledge it sometimes. So we just talked about it going into halftime. They did a really good job because we got them out of that zone early in the second half.
How do you feed off that energy of the crowd without trying to do too much or go outside yourself?
It's hard. You wanna put on a good performance in front of your fans. So that was kind of like the message. We knew it was gonna be a crazy environment, but we wanted to stick to our game plan, stay composed. I felt like we did a good job of that for the most part. Sometimes, we got a little bit out of control, but for the most part, I think we did a good job of that. So credit to Coach for keeping us composed and everybody on the team for staying composed even during the tough times in the game.
How much do you know about the next squad that's up?
Good bit. We've obviously watched them, and we were familiar with them from last year. I mean, they had sideline cancer beat. Marcus Keene hit that big 3. Their staff does a good job. I think the bench has a bunch of energy, and there's a lot of similarities with them and us. It's going to be a really good game, physical. Unfortunately, it's a day later, but it's the nature of this tournament. We knew the schedule going in, and when you're getting ready for TBT, you're preparing to win 6 games. You don't really celebrate making it to the Sweet 16 or anything like that. So we acknowledged what the schedule could potentially be if we were to advance, and we knew it going in, and we're not using that as a crutch. We're not going to acknowledge it or anything. Our job's to get ready to go and get prepared in a day's time. But Buccaneers are good. They're tough. They guard. They have shooting. They got bigs, and they're good.
So looking at the quick turnaround for tomorrow, how's the process go for tomorrow? Does everybody just rest, or is it like a shoot around early in the day, or is it just recovery time until the game time?
Yeah, recovery time. I told KJ better hit that cryo. He's a Charleston guy, so I'm sure that's a plug somewhere. But no, their job's to recover and get off their feet and clear their mind and get ready for tomorrow. Our job as a staff is to take in as much information as we can in this amount of time and whittle it down to the most important things to give them. So we'll walk through some stuff tomorrow, maybe do some light form and stuff like that, but we won't do anything other than talk and walk through stuff.
So after the 2 games, with all these different guys, I know yesterday you talked about all these new guys playing for the first time. Are you starting to get a feel for the rotation?
Yeah, I say that, but I was honestly bad again at that. It's just I just always critiquing myself in terms of anything I can do better, and I could have done a lot of things better tonight. I apologize to Jermaine in the first half. I just love his game so much and think I mean, if you know basketball, which everyone in here does, I mean, he does so much to help you win. And I knew that coming in, and I think he's one of the more underrated guys I've been around in West Virginia. So I kept him in there, and I patted him on the back in a timeout and said, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, but I love your game." But, we kept guys in there a really long time, which was good because they were rolling, but it also got guys cold. So we're still figuring it out, man, but it's tough, and we won. Your job's to figure it out and win regardless, so 2-0.
So John went 5 of 6 from 3 after eating what is probably a very bad pregame meal of Tudor's Biscuit World. Is the whole team now going to have their meal pregame at Tudor's Biscuit World?
You gotta ask his final forecast, comrade.
I didn't know he did that. Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Go back to it. I won't do it, but good for him.
I might go buy the biscuits for him. I'm not.
Yeah, right. We might. Hey.
KJ, this game played out a little different behind the 3-point line than what a lot of people might expect it. You all defended pretty well, or missed some shots. You guys knocked down a lot more, a few more than you might have expected. When that happens, is that an even bigger, psychological advantage when you're knowing, hey, we're kind of beating them at something they thought they were going to be good at?
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't say it's a big surprise on our end. We work hard to make open shots. Guys finding guys in good spaces so they can make shots. So it wasn't really a surprise on our end. Maybe to the fans, maybe to everybody else. But we work on those shots. And John is probably one of the best shooters in TBT right now. So a lot of credit to him and a lot of credit to everybody sharing the ball very well and playing team basketball. That's what we pride ourselves on. So I hope that'll continue.
James, can you talk about what Javon Carter has brought to the team this year? I think some people thought he was just a celebrity type that was going to bring fans in, but if anybody sees him on the bench, he's clearly coaching the entire game. Can you just talk about what he brings?
I was genuinely excited when he talked about coaching. I know Javon. He was downplaying it, like he was just going to be here. He loves basketball too much to just sit there. He wants to be in the game. He wants to be involved. He's going to be a great coach when he's done playing. And he's been tremendous for me and telling me what I need to hear because he does not care. He wants to win more than anything. And you see him coming up during the game telling me this needs to happen. And he's never overbearing. It's never crossing the line. It's not all the time. But he's been phenomenal, and I hope we can work together in the future in a coaching capacity because he's great, man. It's all he thinks about. It is all he thinks about. And, he has what are you going to say to him, if he feels a certain way? He works hard. He's playing at the highest level. He knows what he's talking about. So it's been refreshing, man. He's been in the biggest moments in basketball, and his feel for what's going on during the game is phenomenal. But all in all, man, I'm really glad he's here because he's helping us tremendously, just like Coach Sturm is, and just like Coach Tallman is. I mean, they all are different, and this would be a great staff at any level because Coach Tallman's perspective, Coach Sturm's consistency, and just getting things done, and then Javon's acumen and all that. It's a great staff.
KJ, you were talking about John's shooting. To kind of get like a fair evaluation here, when he's in college, how much of an impact would those threes have made? He probably would have gotten yanked, right?
Yeah.
Now we're talking years later.
Facts, right?
His game has improved. I mean, so that's kind of an aspect to his story, right?
Yeah, he's grown so much as a player, and so we all, a lot of times fans and they only see us one way. They only see us how we played in college, and our games have grown a lot. And so when people see that, they're surprised, but I'm not. I see him every day working on those shots and hitting them consistently. So he's been doing that for years now. So I think it's time people give him his respect as a shooter. He's earned it.
Do you think it's kind of a funny story though that he probably doesn't take those shots in college, but here?
It is. Let him tell it. He's the same shooter back then that he was now, but he wasn't. But like I said, that's a testament to his work ethic and how he fixed his shot, and you see the results coming now. So like I said, gotta give that man his respect.
Yeah. Sorry, just to comment on that. I really didn't know how good John was. Like I think even last year during all this, that guy is I don't know. I'm not gonna put a word to it, but he's one of the best players in TBT.
What is maybe your biggest concern through 2 games would be defensive rebounding?
Yeah. I mean, we've given up a season's worth of offensive rebounds in 2 games. We had 20 today. I mean, it felt like 47 yesterday. I mean, I don't know if the camera was on me in the timeouts. I'm not much of a loudmouth, but it was very clear that we were saying rebound. It's just we do talk about it, I promise. But I'm not going to throw them under the bus, man. We're doing a lot of different things that makes it tough to rebound, and there's so many things to figure out. I mean, it's a lot more difficult than just saying rebound and going to do it. It's tough. Sometimes there's mismatches. They're going to figure it out. I know we got a great group. They'll do better about it tomorrow.
Couple final questions?
Does some of that just go to the fact that you got to defend so many of them at the line and run them off the line that maybe you're getting out of spots that you can get to rebound some?
Honestly, it just comes down to effort. Finishing possessions. I mean, if we limit them to at least half of those rebounds, the score would look even worse than what it was. And again, it's just effort. Honestly, finishing possessions. If we finish possessions, I feel like we can go as far as we want to go in this tournament.
You all good? Hey, quick final note. Tonight's attendance was 45-47. That's the second best at TBT this year and 5th best all time.
Nice.
All right, thanks, guys.